breakfast. Now, the old aphorism says breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Anyway, it turns out only 31% of you agree with that. I happen to be among you. I really enjoy breakfast. Most importantly, though, I really enjoy breakfast cereal. I don't know why. Breakfast cereal has been an addiction for me. I'd rather have that than potato chips at 3 in the afternoon. It's not strictly a breakfast food. I love cereal. And breakfast cereal just kind of is the ultimate American food staple. If you trace the lineage back, it's just, you've got all the mascots like Tony the Tiger. It's kind of the ultimate American food. And it's really a microcosm of the whole American food industry. So what I'm going to do is actually teach you about breakfast cereal. I know you guys are thinking I'm about to sit through 6 possible minutes of breakfast cereal stuff, right? Well, don't worry, it's going to be a little bit more interesting than that. You probably didn't know that the invention of breakfast cereal and the founding of a modern Christian denomination aren't extremely related. Turns out that's true. Wouldn't it be funny if I said it wasn't? Anyway, I'm going to teach you just what cereal, how it got started, what's happened to it, and what's got it to the way it is today. Now, back around the turn of the century, there was a guy named Dr. James Caleb Anderson. He ran this place called a sanatorium, which is basically a place where you literally go to sanitize yourself through like dietary means. And he invented this little product. It was called granula, and it was these tiny little round, hard bran objects that you'd actually have to literally soak in milk overnight before they could become soft enough to chew. And he sold this at his sanitarium where people would go who were infirm and who needed a dietary supplement like that. And this was basically the first thing that has ever resembled breakfast cereal. In fact, a woman named Ellen G. White attended this sanitarium, and she got the itch to form a new Christian denomination that was based on biblical, that kind of was a return to biblical traditions in terms of like dietary things and stuff. And lo and behold, she endorses granula and actually, in the same sort of thought process, founds the Seventh-day Adventist denomination. So if you're Seventh-day Adventist, you totally dig cereal. It turns out one of the new attendees of the Seventh-day Adventist Church was a man named John Kellogg. John Kellogg opens up his own sanitarium and makes his own granula, and he gets sued by Dr. James Caleb Anderson. But this was a simpler time, and so he goes in and changes his product to granola to avoid the lawsuit, and I think we all know which one was more successful. Mr. Kellogg then goes around innovating things, finding ways to make flakes. First he flakes wheat, and then he flakes corn, and you see where that went. So now that you know how cereal got started, we're just going to watch it explode through history. Right after World War II, people started realizing cereal was getting popular with kids. Kix and Wheaties came on the scene, and kids love these cereals. Kix, you all know it's kid tested, mother approved. Oh yeah. And so, oh by the way, that whole anecdote with the John Kellogg thing, that comes from a TV show actually called Heavyweights on the Food Network. I'm a dork. So here comes all these new cereals, and the marketing agents realize kids are really loving these. We have to get on board with this. So they do a few things to the new cereals. The first thing they do is they remove the fiber because they felt it was difficult to digest. Anyway, then they also decided we're going to add sugar to it, and this is how we got the cereals Frosted Flakes, Trix, and Sugar Smacks, which actually ends up being 56% sugar by weight. And then they started just milking this cash cow. I mean, they came up with Tony the Tiger, Snap, Crackle, Pop, all your favorite cereal mascots that you identify with, and they're still on TV commercials today. They came about when this was a brand new world for the food industry. Then they also had the venerable secret decoder rings and the various toys you can find in boxes. And that's kind of what happened. And that's how cereal got to where it is today. And now, modern cereal, it's pretty much they're realizing that what they thought was healthy was pretty wrong. They're reintroducing things like fiber and iron into the cereals. And you've got newer cereals like Honey Bunches of Oats and Special K. that they're marketing towards adults as meal replacements. Um, and you may have seen the boxes where they say, things like Frosted Flakes, less sugar, you should buy it again. Actually, I had Special K this morning because I felt my breakfast was very healthy, and my mom would cry if I didn't get something healthy, so I had Special K. And then we all know there's a great big, rivalry. General Mills, Kellogg's, and Post has kind of going on. We'll see how that has to unfold. But anyway, that's my spiel on breakfast cereal. Hope it wasn't as mind-numbing as you thought it was going to be. But cereal really is a part of our day-to-day lives, and we see how it has been just the microcosm of the whole way that the marketing machine tries to sell us stuff. And if you're still not convinced that cereal is integral to the modern experience, I'll just quote from the sages of the Christian music empire, the Newsboys, who would like you to remember that when the toast is burned and all the milk is turned, and Captain Crunch's Maven farewell, may the big one find you. May this song remind you that they don't serve breakfast now.